This is the time in life where you got to get it clear. And I know you're going to get tired of hearing me say this, but I can't not say it because it's life and it's the reality. You have to take off all those layers that's been placed upon you, both when you were in your mother's womb, once you came out of your mother's womb, all the way up to the big age that you are right now. You have to take off all of those things. The things that you put on yourself, the things that was on you before you got here, and the things that other people have put on you. You have picked up habits. You have picked up mindsets. You have picked up belief systems. And none of those things go into alignment with who you are and who you are desiring to be. And more importantly, who the Father designed for you to be. And you can't meet that person that's buried deep within yourself, until you start taking off those layers that came from your mom and her bloodline, that came from your father and his bloodline, that came from your homies and your friends and the people you grew up with around the neighborhood, the people at your job or your jobs and your businesses, the people that you have laid down with. You have picked up things that you need to release and you need to let go of. You have picked up mindsets. You have picked up hurt and pain and trauma. You have picked up stuck emotions. And all these things you put in the cart. Imagine if you was in a grocery store. And not only are you selecting items to go into your grocery cart, let's say every time you pass by somebody, whether it's an employee or it's another customer, every time you go past a person, they throw something in your cart to the point that the cart is overflowing. Like to the point that while you're walking, every step you make and you push that cart, an item is falling out the cart. And then somebody comes from behind, picks that thing up, and still piles it back up there. And in the middle of that process, you still picking up items that you need and putting them in the cart. And so is everybody that goes by you. And again, it's everybody in the store is all piling stuff into your cart to the point that even if they piled it up there, stacked up on each other, you to the point that your cart looks like Jenga. Well, even if you reached up there to take one thing off of the pile of Jenga, the cans and the items that's in your cart, there's still all those other pieces up there. And until all those pieces fall down, the game is not over. The same thing goes on with your life. One piece can come off because you healed it. Maybe you went to church and you healed it. You went to a counselor, a psychic, a psychologist, a preacher, evangelist. You went to a good friend that helped you feel better. And each one of those people, you went online, YouTube University, and you listened to those psychics. You did self-help books. You went to God on your own, and God helped you create your own little program. You journal. Each one of these things help pull a Jenga piece down. Help take one of those cans out of your grocery cart. But as you're taking those things down, constantly things are also still being put up there. Constantly things are still being put up there because you're still living. You're going through things. You're living. Until you stop living, it's not going to stop. And that's what this is. You are constantly in an emotional, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, sexual, financial, and social war of Jenga, where all these pieces need to be slowly but surely taken down, or you're going to have tower moments. And then when you do have tower moments, you still can't forget. You have to have signs. You have to have signs on your walls. You got to have a journal that you look at every day that's specifically made with all of what you've learned. If you were a Wiccan, you have to have a book of shadows that's literally got pages of recipes and spells and rituals. The Bible, there's literally got rituals and prayers and worship and history about where you came from, where you are, and where you're going and what you can expect. I don't care what religion you follow, and I don't care what kind of healing you've done or have not done. You are having a jingle war of your life. And when one thing is pulled down, everything else that's attached to and assigned to it has to come right along with it. Yes, if you dealt with this person and they gave you depression, they gave you low self-esteem, they gave you a low self-concept about yourself, um, they took away your power. You gave away your personal power. They took your personal power. Your soul, pieces of your soul was taken away. Pieces of your heart was broken and taken away. When you get rid of that person, you have to get rid of all those mindsets that they gave you and the ones you gave to yourself while you were dealing with that person. If they told you you were less than a child of God and they treated you like it, those scars that's on your heart, that's on your mind, body, and spirit and soul, you got to let that stuff go. If you was dealing with a friend and that person was a taker and all they did was take, and you got used to being used and abused and taken advantage of and treated like less than child, you got to unlearn that behavior. You got to stop treating yourself the way those people were treating you, because first of all, they couldn't have treated you like that if you weren't already treating yourself like that, let alone they wouldn't have been able to treat you like that if you weren't allowing it. But what was allowing you to allow it? All of those things, all the way down to the root, they all gotta be ripped up. Because when you get rid of the person, place, thing, circumstance, and situation, you ain't getting rid of yourself. Because you still you. You take you everywhere you go. My auntie, I was talking to her a couple weeks ago, and I remember she was like, you go in your house and your home, you ain't got to worry about not being peaceful. I said, well, what if you take it home with you? Because that's just what it is. I'm a tea pourer. I pour the tea. I'm a tea maker. I am that chick when it comes down to tea. And what I mean when I say tea, I'm the truth teller. I'm the truth pourer. I'm not the type where you can use the word of God or really anything with me and you can say, well, God said this and the Bible said that. You know what I'm going to say? The Bible also said this and the Bible also said that. Because if we're going to start talking about the Bible, baby, we're going to talk about the whole Bible. Nothing but the Bible. So help us, God. We're going to use that whole Bible. We ain't going to use one sentence out the Bible. We're going to use every sentence that's in the Bible. And we're going to use it accordingly. Or we ain't going to use it at all. If we're going to talk about one thing, we're going to talk about everything that's assigned to and attached to that thing. Because talking about that thing and not getting to the root of it, where it started, why it started, it ain't getting us nowhere. It breaks people down and they feel like it's a cop-out if you hear a PhD say to you, so tell me about your childhood. But then if you don't understand it, that's not going to mean nothing to you. But you come over to a spiritualist like me, a psychic like me, a prophet like me, an apostle like me, a life coach like me, and I say to you, hold up, wait a minute. Baby, the only reason why you accept that in a man is because you accepted it in your father. The only reason why you stopped wanting this and you stopped wanting that is because you saw your mother wanted that and you didn't like what you saw when you looked at your mom. When I say to you, oh, the only reason why you feel like that about men is because your first boyfriend, your baby daddy, your ex-husband, your mama's husband, your stepdaddy, your uncle, your cousin, that dude that lived on the corner. When I start digging deep and during those times and moments that we're talking about, it started in your childhood. During those times and moments, it started when you was a teenager. And during those times and moments, it started when you was a young adult. During those times and moments, it started 85 years ago. Yeah, you don't want to talk about 85 years ago, but you're not understanding that 85 years ago is the reason why you're in the place in which you're in right now. Why things are going the way that it is right now. And that's why we got to go back there. I don't have to have a PhD to tell you that. I just have to have the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and sharp discernment, and that straight up connection between me and God with the Holy Spirit living on the inside of me, and being a coach of experience of over 20 some years and been alive for only 34 years to be able to tell you that. I don't have to have children to teach you how to be a good parent either. I don't have to have children to tell you that how you talking to your child, how you looking at your child, the things that you're doing, because you treating them like that because you was treated like that as a child. Or because you was treated like that as a child, you allowing them to do this and that because you didn't like what you went through as a child. I don't need to have a child to tell you that. Why? I was once a child. I had my own child experiences. Guess what? I have grown up with those experiences. I'm not going to knock on your door and I can't heal you. I can't transform you. I cannot help renew your mind if my mind has not been renewed. If I have not gone through and literally walked the day in your shoes. I may not have walked around as your name. I may not have walked around at your age. And I may not have walked around with your particular mama, but I had one. I came from one. And I've been around people my entire life. I was set aside for this at a young age. I've been doing this since I was 8, 9 years old. I've been having these visions and speaking to the other side since I was 8, 9 years old. Actually 5 years old if we want to get completely technical. So that's what my years of experience comes from. The practice is me. It's me giving you the steps that I myself had to go through, that I had to walk clients through, that I had to live and experience, that I had to have other clients that had to live and experience. And it was birthed in order to help you through your experiences. So I'm going to tell you from that experience, you gotta go to the root. I don't care if you start out with a counselor, a psychiatrist, or what you start out with. I don't care if you start out with a psychic, a healer, or a soothsayer. I don't care if you start out with just a tree. If you literally go stand next to a tree every day, and that tree, whether you want to admit it to yourself or not, begins to talk to you. They may not talk with a mouth, but as you're standing there holding and sitting next to that tree, all kinds of memories and emotions and thoughts and feelings and experiences and stuff you ain't thought about in years start rising up and coming to your mind. You hold up, wait a minute. I ain't thought about that person in months of Sundays. Why is this person coming to my mind right now? You know, I'm praying about getting my light bill, my water bill, my rent taken care of, but this person is coming to my mind. Were they going to give me some money? No. But it may be a circumstance or a situation that's assigned or attached to that person, connected to your memory, that's going to lead you and guide you and show you how you can get your bill paid. Maybe that person said something to you, taught you something, or you saw them do something, and that God is using that person in your memory to say, remember when she went to that church and she asked for some help? She took her light bill down there and they helped her get her light bill paid. Remember when she went to social services or some type of assistance program and they helped her to get food, groceries, and medical care for her and her children? That's how you got to be able to be that sensitive to understand, comprehend, and accept that communication between you and the Most High God is going to talk to you. It's not always going to be he going to crack the sky and put his head down there. Because most people, they not like me and other people like me. Well, honestly, if God did that, it wouldn't scare me. I would put my arms up. I'd be like, Daddy, come get me. Because I done had enough. Out of all the traumas and tragedies and stuff I done had to heal from, and more things that keep rising up, Daddy, come get me. You notice I didn't even say Father. I said, Daddy, come get me. Because that's the type of relationship I got with him. I wouldn't be scared at all if God stuck his head down here and looked at me. Because I'm used to him talking to me in my ears. I'm used to him grabbing a hold of an actual whole person that I don't even know in the middle of the day and walking that person over to me that don't know me and I don't know them. And I can see from the expression on their face that it's not them talking to me at that moment. And after God uses that person and moves their mouth, their lips, and their tongue and their throat to give me a message, boom, that person go back to normal. Like, okay, I don't know why I'm near this woman's car, I don't know this one, what was we talking about? They just say, have a nice day, and they just walk away. I'm used to God doing stuff like that. You know why? He been doing stuff like that for me ever since I was 16 years old, when I dedicated my life to him. But if you got that type of communication from him, it would scare the hell out of you. Excuse my language, but I'm just being real with you about it. If that happened to you, it would scare you. So he can't talk to you like that. But he can sit you down somewhere and put a vision in your mind that ain't going to throw you off. It's just going to throw you off if you don't understand what it means. If you ain't willing to sit with it and say, okay, God, what you trying to show me? Hold up, God. Being like, what was that prophet's name? Being like Samuel. Being like Samuel and saying, okay, God, I'm here. Your servant is here. I'm listening. If you not bred like that, if you ain't built like that, if you ain't trained like that, and you ain't ready like that, he gonna use the radio to talk to you. He gonna use your TV shows to talk to you. He gonna use social media to talk to you. He gonna use the people in your life to talk to you. And if you still ain't listening, then you gonna just keep bumping into wall after wall, having boulder after boulder fall on top of you until you start getting the message, until you start listening, until you start accepting that he's in control and he's saying it's time for you to clean it up. It's time for you to stop doing this and stop doing that, or start doing this and start doing that, in order to give me this life you keep asking about, you keep praying about, you keep worshiping about, you keep whining about, you be crying about, you be yelling and screaming and shouting about. It's time for you to line up and do what I say do, no matter what person I use as a messenger or how I get the message to you. You need to get the message, and I'm using everything that I got at my disposal to do that. You just gotta be open to it. You just gotta open up your hand and receive it. You just gotta get with it and start doing it. Whatever it is that I'm leading you and guiding you and supporting you and providing for you to do. And in that order. I love y'all. God bless you. I hope you have an amazing day. Peace.